This is our paranormal podcast because this is our paranormal community, and we want to support you here on RU Media Network. We are proud to be sponsored by the Haunted Hinsdale House in Hinsdale, New York. Here are your hosts, Brian Mersall and Shawn Gilmore.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm used to saying Wednesday. I don't, at the end of every show, like I usually say, like I hope we helped you over this hump day, help you slide on into the weekend. But now we're at the end of the weekend. We're gonna help them slide on into the week. I don't know. What am I gonna say? I'm gonna have to come up with a good saying. Hopefully, I'll come up with one before the end of the show because I have nothing right now.
Yeah, it'll be nice and organic.
It will be. Yes, and that's how we like things on the show. Like them organic, free flowing. Guys, we have an awesome show this week. I'm Shawn Gilmore, your co-host, along with my brother Brian Mersall. How's it going?
Good, Shawn. It was a beautiful weekend so far, and looking forward to giving these good people some good insight for what's coming in their week and also in 2022 altogether. I'm also very excited.
Well, Brian, you may have noticed we also have Tali on the show with us. So this is a new edition. And another edition is Linda and Tali came out with a book together that they both co-authored. And they're going to give us some very, very privileged information about one of the stories. And I'm just so excited to hear about it. So I don't want to say too much because we got to let them tell us about these books. In case... You know what? I know most of the people I know at least know Linda. They know she's a good a very well known and well respected psychic medium. But Tali, if we could start with you, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you and Linda maybe got into working together on this book?
I became friends with Linda. I had reached out to her for some because she was a psychic, and we got to know each other. And as the years went on, she kept telling me a young individual was going from my past life was going to come into my life. She kept telling me over and over and over again. And I said, well, okay. Well, it never happened. And every time we talked, she'd ask me, did it happen? I said, no, not yet. So anyhow, in the meantime, years earlier, I had met an individual in New York. I was up there with a friend, and I stepped away to have a cigarette break. And this individual approached me and asked me to borrow a cigarette. And so years late after we met, I found out that he was a famous actor. I didn't know at the time, didn't even realize it. And so years down the road, Linda and I kept becoming obsessed with this individual. And then I had to reach out to Linda to help him cross over. Does that make sense? Yep.
Does to me. Brian, does that make sense to you? Are you familiar with helping spirit crossover?
A little bit. Like I've obviously never done it or anything, but that's definitely something that we should get into in the show. Definitely. Because, yeah.
Well, what I started to say was when I was obsessing about this person, I kept buying all his books, and I didn't know why I was obsessing. And I got to this one movie, and the cigarette smoke was so strong, the tears were running down my face. I said, well, I got to call Linda. The next day I called her, and she immediately began describing the person as they appeared in the movie. She hit it right on the head. She knew.
Wow.
That's a T, really cool. She described him.
That's what Linda does.
Yeah.
So Linda is lagging a little bit, but as soon as she catches up, Linda, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe your path to writing this book and how you
What
got
was really
started.
strange is
It's okay. She's lagging.
Yeah.
Technology at its finest. It's okay.
Yeah.
When
well, I've
technology
been
works,
able to
it's
see.
great. But when it doesn't, it's aggravating.
It sure is.
Would turning off the video help at all, or
Turning off the video?
like her video, because she's not like uploading as much data if it's just the voice?
Does she have the video? Oh, Linda. Yeah, if you have the podcast playing at the same time, maybe shut it down.
I meant just like stop her like actual camera feed, or that too. Like I don't know.
No. Oh, you mean just turn off the camera so she's just
Well,
out?
yeah, because like if you hit stop cam,
Yeah.
wait, what? Who is that? Is that you?
That's me with the
Why am I
crimpus.
you?
That's me with the crimp.
Okay,
Oh, now we lost Linda.
We just lost her in general. Okay.
Well, we just lost Linda. So I guess this is Spirit's way telling us talk about the book first.
Yeah, I think so.
And then
Yeah,
we can
and that would be him.
here. Michael Levick.
Oh, Michael. Yeah.
He says, so interesting and love these stories, which are real, to find out whose souls connect back together. That's awesome. So what can maybe some of these comments will make more sense to other people who haven't heard of or found out about your guys' book. Here, I have an image here of the cover somewhere. It's right there. There it is.
Yep. The first book.
It's the first book, which is totally covering you, so I'm not going to keep it up long. The Ghost and Mrs.
Smythe.
I'm sorry.
Yes. And that describes how the two individuals met in New York. Starts out when they met in New York, and then it proceeds into her when she goes home, and then the actor passes away, and then years later, the paranormal activity starts. She had been smelling his cigarette smoke throughout the years, but she wasn't connecting anything. Well, she wouldn't put two, and the person is me actually, but I wasn't putting two and two together until I reached out. And then finally it just got so bad with the cigarette smoke. I had to call Linda in, and and then she told me who it was. Well, she gave me his description.
So this book is your story.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
That is cool.
Yeah, that makes it even better. Is audio? Oh, is it on Audible? Is the book on Audible?
No, not yet.
No,
not yet.
I might know a guy that might be willing to read it for you and record it for you.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him.
Tally, I feel like you should read it.
That's a good idea too.
Not with I would be stuttering all over the place. I'd let somebody else do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know one guy who does actual voiceovers, and that's actually the guy that does our intro.
Oh, okay.
And then I have another friend who actually has done some recordings where he recorded some scary stories for someone.
Okay.
And we can reach out to him. We can go from there because I mean that's definitely it's a benefit. Not
right.
Not everybody can read the books because the letters can get small or
right
what have you. So
Linda's back.
Linda,
welcome back.
Hi. Yeah, my computer shut totally off. Interestingly enough, Linda, totally off.
Linda, we decided.
So I had to reboot it.
So. Linda, that was our sign to talk about the books first.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the first book right now.
Okay, that's cool. All righty.
And I explained
But no,
to Shawn. Go
I'm
ahead.
not sure how much you got of that. Like I said, it totally shut me down. No,
How
it
come you
just
got any of
totally
it?
shut me down. I mean, it just shut everything right off, and I had to totally reboot my everything. So, but no, what part of it have you discussed about the first book?
I explained that it was actually my life.
Because
And
I
how-
don't want to reveal too much too soon.
Okay, and I revealed how it started out with me meeting this famous actor on the streets of New York who I had no idea who it was. Then years later, after he passed away, he came to me as a ghost, and the paranormal activity started. And then I had to reach out to you so that you could identify confirm my suspicions, and then later on help him to cross over because he wasn't going anywhere. And that's where I left it.
Okay. Right. And the
So, Linda, do you have any-
interesting thing is he would only appear to me as that particular character in his last movie. And I had never seen really any of his movies except for maybe one or two. So I didn't connect the dots there either. So, like I said, he was totally in that character when he would come to me. And he was one very angry and bitter young man.
Wow.
Very
So-
hostile, very angry.
Do you guys
So-
reveal who the actor is?
There was a lot of
Involved.
mystery surrounding his death, a lot of misinformation on the other side. So he needed a lot of psychological help just to get to the point to where he crossed over. No, not in the book. We don't. No.
Okay.
No. The only time we've revealed him is going to be on your show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people have guessed.
People may have guessed who the famous actor is, but we have not disclosed his name as of yet.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But it was
I'm
interesting
honored.
how it all transpired. And the first book,
Yes.
yeah, there has been people who have guessed. But the interesting part, it took us a few years to get him to go into the light. And it wasn't until he saw his grandfather that he finally agreed to go into the light.
Oh, wow. So
So
bringing
it
his
was
father and his
interesting.
grandfather,
But
bring his grandfather.
do you want to tell him who it is, Tally?
Well, I was going to let you have that, but I could tell them.
Okay, I'll let you do the honors of saying who it was.
Okay. Shawn, were you
Well,
going to say something?
real quick before we reveal this, 'cause I'm
Okay.
excited to hear about it. But can you give us a little bit more leading information without giving away too much of your
Or
book?
he did.
What do you need, Shawn?
I was just wondering if we could have just a little bit more leading information about the book, the story before we do the reveal. Like what? So the story is about
Okay,
your connecting, Tally connecting with the spirit, right?
Yes.
So
And
first you meet him in New York City,
Right.
and then he comes back to his spirit.
Yes. And then Linda was my friend, and then I contacted her to help me to confirm, because I had my suspicions, because every time I go to the mailbox to get one of his movies, I smell cigarette smoke. So when I watched this second to the last movie before he died, the cigarette smoke was so heavy. I had tears streaming down my face, and I was choking because it was so thick.
Wow.
So I called her the next day and I said, hey, and I said, somebody's in this house with me. And then she started, and you want me to tell you how she described him?
If it whatever you want to give us about your book,
He said
before we buy it.
She said, do you have a friend that used to be a transvestite? And I said, not that I'm aware of. And she said, well, he's got lipstick smeared all over his face. It's just all up and to the sides. And then she says, wait a minute, he has mascara smeared around his eyes. And then she says, he has a white dress on. No, wait a minute. No, he's got a nurse's uniform on. And I threw my phone. I knew. I said, man, you hit it right. She said, you know who it is? I said, yes, I do. And I told her. And then he hugged me because I acknowledged him.
And I thought he was a crazy clown nurse.
Yeah, she kept us crazy clown nurse.
Yeah.
I like it.
I thought he was a nurse.
So then after she identified him, it was like a couple of days later, I called Linda back and I said, go ahead.
Why I kept looking at this group.
Yes.
Yep. And I was doing my husband's business finance, and I kept looking at this green. I couldn't understand why he kept pointing at the green book. The green book. It's like, oh, for Pete's sake, come on. So I was getting frustrated because I just saw this crazy clown character, and I didn't know who it was either. And then she sent me a picture via Facebook of him, and I go, yeah, that crazy clown. And so the green book started at that point. He pointing to the green book on my desk. Have you guessed it yet?
We haven't made any guesses yet.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that,
Ideas, guys.
that this is an actor
Okay.
who played a nurse in a movie.
Right.
I don't know. I don't even know what movie that could be.
And he had kind of
A
his makeup
psycho
was done
nurse in a movie.
like a clown face.
Yeah, I can guess,
Okay, go ahead.
but I don't know if anyone else wants to guess or
The people in the chat room, does anyone have any guesses there?
does the first name start with H?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's wild. Oh my gosh, because he had so much going on. Yo.
Samantha says Heath Fletcher.
Well, close. The last
Yeah.
name.
So I almost just counted myself out because I'm like, I don't know any movies. I know that movie, like, wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. No way. And then you said for years.
And written on the front.
After he passed away, for years, I would smell where if I was walking down in my car around my husband, whatever, I would get cigarette smoke, and I could never figure out what was going on. But then looking back in hindsight, it's always 2020. I figured out, well, that was him all along. So.
You play the Joker?
Yes.
Yeah. He was the Joker guy in Batman too. Joker. Yeah.
It's the nurse outfit.
Yeah, because
the crazy clown.
Yeah. He
was so angry after that role.
Heath Ledger, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
I know, me too, Shawn. I said there's no way because it's this makeup all over his face. I'm like, there's no way because everyone makes fun of me for not understanding any music or any movie references. I said there's no way this is one of the movies that I saw.
Wow. So it's Heath Ledger. That's a big actor too.
Yeah.
So you met him in person in New York?
I met him in New York. I gave him a cigarette.
We hear about that. How do you meet Heath Ledger?
I was standing there smoking a cigarette, and he came up, approached me, and said, hey, you got an extra one? And I said, yeah. So I gave him a cigarette and a light, and we sat there and stood there and chatted.
Did you know?
She thought he was a bum.
I thought, I thought he was just some sweet kid. And I said, yeah, sure. I said, are you old? Stupid me. I said, are you old enough to smoke? And he busted out laughing. He told his buddy, you tell her I'm old enough. So I gave him a cigarette. And then we stood there and chatted for a long time. And I turned around and asked him, because he had, he had the Aussie accent. And I asked him if his parents knew he was in the United States. And he kind of snorted and laughed. He said, yeah, they know. And after I walked away, or after he left, and my friend checked around to the merchant, said, who was that guy? This is Heath Ledger.
You said Heath Ledger. You didn't know the name Heath Ledger yet.
I didn't know who it was.
That's
just some sweet kid.
Oh, that's just Heath Ledger. Some guy. That's
I
awesome.
might not have known. Yeah,
I would have known. I'm horrible recognizing celebrities. I know it's happened to me before.
Yeah.
People, because I worked in retail. I worked at a Beechwood Mall, and there's people would always come up to me. Do you know who you were just talking to? That I just sold him some shoes for his wife. I don't know. And then they would tell me. I was like, oh shit, damn! I should have gotten his autograph.
Yeah.
But it's that's really cool though. And it just shows. Cool. I mean, they really are just people. So why do you feel like Heath Ledger was attracted to you?
Well,
to help him with the other side.
Well, he was going to stay with me, I guess. What we come to find out, we'd had several lifetimes together. In fact, the second book is about one of the lifetimes we had up to and through World War I. Linda determined that we had, like I said, several lives throughout the centuries. And I guess when he kissed me, I knew something was up because I just saw fog. And it was like, there you are. You know what I'm saying? It was just like we recognized each other. And he said, I feel like I know you, and I don't know why. And then, we stood there and chatted. And then, like I said, he kissed me. And then my friend came up and, he said, see. And then we went on to get dinner. And then the waiter come and said, you can have anything you want. Your dinner's paid for. He apparently followed us and he paid for my dinner.
So Heath Ledger kissed you like in real life?
Oh, yeah.
Like a kiss on the cheek?
No.
Really?
Kiss.
A kiss.
Kiss.
Right.
No.
Right.
But I'll let Linda explain about the past lives if she can. She keeps breaking up. But.
So this is awesome though. So you meet this famous actor, and then he comes to you after he passes his spirit.
Right.
And now, not only do you help him cross over, but you learn that you have multiple lives together, past lives together, and. Now, dude, that is a fantastic idea for a book series. How many books in a series can we expect here?
Well, this one's on World War I. We're talking about doing the one during the Civil War. We did one regression. Me and Linda, when she was out here visiting, we did a regression on that. And then before that was in the 1700s when we had a farm in New York. We had like 12 or 13 kids. Before that was the Salem witch trials. And before that was Mary Queen of Scots.
This is
how
do you
Elizabethan
learn about
time.
your past lives like this, Linda?
What?
How do you learn about your past lives like this? How do you learn this stuff?
Through regressions and
we do past life regression.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like some sort of hypnosis or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do past life regressions.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of a hypnosis, and you go back, and what Tally does is she does record these sessions because you do forget a lot once you come back, out of that deep trance thing. You do lose a lot. So she always records them. And that's where we get the information for the books and what happened. Now, we do change names just to protect other people. But other than that, it's all true. It's what we've gleaned from doing past life regression.
Wow.
So,
cool. I wonder.
the World
wonder
War
how-
One
how-
one was really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
When you met your wife, Shawn,
Yeah.
wasn't there a recognition of your souls?
I just
So
remember
you
we-
guys have
we
probably
were-
got past lives together as well.
We were sitting there. We went and ate at an Italian restaurant called Jimmy Dodana's in Solon, Ohio, and it's no longer open. And I got anyways, I'm sitting there eating my pasta, and I looked up at her, and I just like hit me like boom. I'm like, this is on our first date, mind you. Holy crap! I'm gonna marry this chick.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 24, and I was like, holy crap! I'm gonna marry this chick. And it just like hit me. It was like the scariest aha moment ever in my life, because I was at this moment wanted nothing to do with marriage. I was 24. I was going to bars. I was partying up. I was a bachelor, and so yeah, I had a moment like that, and I knew that we were going to be together at that moment. But is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yep, your souls recognized each
Mm-hmm.
other. That's why you're together. And it's like some people want to call it love at first sight. I like to call it love at first recognition. Your souls recognize each other. You've had past life together.
Huh. It's interesting. A lot of
That's
things
why you
had to
come
happen
together
for
in
us
this lifetime. Not to 25 ends.
a lot of things had to happen for my wife and I to cross paths, for that moment to happen. A lot of things had to happen.
Yep.
No.
So if one thing didn't happen, we would have never known each other.
Exactly. The same
That's
with
crazy.
her and on the streets of New York. What were the odds?
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Robert says twin
Twin
flames.
flames.
But their past life, their most recent one, was so traumatic for both of them that they opted to come back different times, different places. They didn't want to have that pain again, but yet their souls found each other, even though they vowed not to.
Right.
Wow.
It's really interesting how karma works things out that way.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
fate. I call that fate. Some people call it karma. But yeah, that's really, really kind of.
Brian,
Yes.
though, could you imagine dealing with the Joker?
No.
Linda would get so fed up.
Especially that Joker. That was
Yeah.
a crazy Joker.
I don't know if you heard me or not, but
He heard you.
oh God.
When I was writing the book, and I would send
He was difficult at best, and he was
Yeah.
angry.
Mm-hmm.
What fascinates me is that everything I heard of, and this is I never did any research, of course, but it was almost as if he got so into his character that kind of made him go insane, and then go to heaven and whatnot. But specifically, what you're saying, Linda, is that like him being trapped in that character. That specific character in between here and there, and just being the Joker all the time, it almost like clicks, because that's potentially how he just got too into the character and lost his mind or whatever. That's just what I heard, but it would be wild to deal with that, like you said, for years. To help him cross over, it took years. No, I
did.
can't. I can't imagine.
when I contacted Linda, it was
I wasn't
beginning of
going to give up on
2016.
him.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when his grandfather passed away, but when his grandfather was on the other side and he saw him, he finally said, "Me granddad's over there. I think I can go now." And he finally went. After he crossed over into the light, he's come back as himself, not a character.
Really?
So he got a lot of healing, which is the reason why we put this, is that he did finally get the healing that he needed. And he did not commit suicide, and he was not abusing drugs in any way, shape, or form. That makes him very angry when people just insinuate that that's how he died, because that isn't. So.
Excuse me. What?
Yeah,
what
boy,
is
I'm just so
the
ignorant
final
on the
cause of
subject.
death?
Yeah, I don't even know if there was a cause of death or anything.
Let's Google
What
this real
he
quick.
has showed me, not a coroner, but what he showed me is that he had a really bad, heavy chest cold, like maybe bronchitis, because he had a bad cough. And I think he may have took some cold medicine like NyQuil or something, and he slept on his stomach, and I think he suffocated in the pillows by sleeping on his stomach.
Really?
That's what he showed me anyway. Okay, so
But according to Google,
you know, he, for whatever reason, he fell asleep on his stomach, and I think the pillows got in his mouth and his nose, and he suffocated.
according
so
to
strange.
Google,
And that's not because he was abusing a drug or anything. He just was really sick, and it happened.
according to Google, it says accidentally overdose on prescription drugs.
I'm not
He had
sleeping on
some,
my
he
stomach
said, in his
anymore.
system, but he had taken something like a Percocet or something along those lines. He had taken like 8 hours prior to him going to bed. So he was on those because he injured his back or something, but he wasn't abusing them. But mixing a cough medication with an opiate can cause some problems. It can cause respiratory depression, which just causes respiratory arrest. But he's saying it wasn't abuse of drugs. Get so angry if he would even, even that he had a hand in it.
I mean, I could see why that would be a sensitive.
Didn't want his family to think that he would abuse drugs. He didn't want family to think he committed suicide.
Yeah.
But he was very adamant about.
He played the best Joker.
He was very adamant that he did not cause it.
So, are you guys going to be talking about it being?
But no, he did say that he was
in the book.
Do
or
what?
Any of the books? Will you guys be disclosing that it was Heath Ledger in any of the books in the future?
We actually really haven't even discussed that. And how I came up with the name was Jake in the book was
no.
Heath.
We haven't.
Heath is the one that suggested the name of Jake. Linda can explain that to you.
His best friend was named Jake. He thought it'd be a hoot if we call him Jake in the book, because his friend would go out. They would tell people that he was him just to screw with people. He is. Jake so-and-so, so they would like to, so he thought it'd be funny to use the name Jake. I don't want people to think we're trying to make a fast buck off of his name, because that's not the intention.
Right.
And the Ghost of Mrs. Smythe is really the only one where Jake is that character of Heath. The other books are all of the past lives that they had together, where when he wasn't Heath Ledger, he was just somebody else, basically.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
But like I said, he just wants to hear the record that he was not abusing drugs and did not commit suicide.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
He's a nice young man now. Yes.
They did
I think that's who it is.
Yeah,
but he just thought it'd be funny to use that guy's name as Jake.
Okay. That's cool. My favorite Heath Ledger movie.
Also worried about his daughter, I think.
I like The Brothers Grimm and I like The Patriot.
Yeah, they were good movies.
But yeah, but no, the book on my desk was a business ledger.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is so cool. And now here you are writing this book, and it's gonna be a series. And so there's 2 to the series, right? So we showed the one book there. That's the first book, guys. The Ghost and Mrs. Smythe. And then
The Ghost of Mrs. Smythe.
And then we have A Love Throughout the Centuries, The Great War. Both of these books are available on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I have a link. I'm going to put it in the comments. For Amazon, it's not anything easy to remember. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there. So what can you tell us about the second book here?
Well, the second book, it starts out with...
Well, that one takes place... it starts at about 1890, and it takes place in a manor house in England. And it chronicles the love story of these 2 people and them through the First Great War. And I'm not going to give away the ending of it, but it's kind of a tragic end. That's why they decided not to come back in this life together. They thought it was going to be too. But it is a really good love story, and it's set in the backdrop of privileged England and also the World War I.
Oh, wow.
And it's got a little bit of R-rated in there this round. But other than that, it's pretty, it's pretty user-friendly, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot into it. One was born under privilege, one was not. So, overcoming the class system in that time, England was not easy. But,
right.
So, but I think it's a lot better than the first one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, the next one is going to be set in the Civil War, the South of the United States during the Civil War period.
Oh, wow. You said there's another time period in Salem?
Yeah. After the Civil War, there's the 1700s where Heath and I...
Around that time.
We lived on a farm in New York. And Linda had told me we had like 12 or 13 kids. And then before that is the during Salem witch trials.
Of course,
Linda's trying to talk, but she keeps.
I know.
Yeah, I think
Keep breaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's that stop cam. Maybe if she
Yeah.
tries to.
Linda, do you see on the bottom of your screen where it says stop cam? Let's see if we can get a better connection with you with no video.
Okay.
With that. See? So there you go. Turn it off. Keep it off. Let's see if it helps.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
We can hear you.
We can see you too.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
Oh, good. She looks like she's going to sneeze.
Okay. All right. But yeah, during the 70s, like I said, they had a lot of kids. So, but back then they did.
I could imagine that life. I've got 3 kids, and that's too much.
Yeah, when she told me, I said, "How many?" You gotta be kidding me.
3 is good. 3's max,
Yeah.
I think, for me. But I know people with 5. They said that pretty much after 3, it's the same. The older kids just help more.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I got 3 kids and 2 dogs. I got a full house.
Yeah. Well, back then you needed as many kids as you could to work.
Yeah, they're your farm workers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just so messed. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I know my grandparents.
I know.
Your grandparents what?
My grandparents, they were born in the 1890s and they had 13 children. So, and they all work the farm and stuff. And I have some aunts and uncles that are the same ages as my cousins. So that was interesting growing up.
That's gotta pay like some serious toll on your body. 13 children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no from me.
Brian, you're engaged. How many kids you guys gonna have? 2 dogs.
0 to 3.
Well, you got 2 dogs.
I do have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah. Imagine if you could understand when they're talking back to you. That's what it's like having a kid.
Yeah, no,
It's like you know what they're saying when they're talking back to you. Dogs, they're talking back, you don't know. They just kind of like look at you weird and like tilt their head and like flop their ears around and they're talking smack, but you don't know it. Kids, you know it.
Where'd Linda go?
I don't know, but I think when she gets back, we should try the cam stop the whole time.
We tried that, but I don't know what happened. We tried.
I think she just misunderstood. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe because I turned it back on. I don't know. But and then Samantha, we'll get to your question when she gets back. And actually, Linda does do a lot of readings connecting with past loved ones and past lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that she should be able to help with. So I love this book idea. I mean, guys, the link is in the comments here. Tali meets a stranger in New York who becomes a spiritual connection because they were connected through multiple past lives.
All right.
And they were more than connected. They were like soulmates, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And this isn't some small-time actor either.
Mm-mm.
And he's from Australia,
Right. What are the odds?
right? It's crazy.
That is wild.
That's crazy. Australia, that Australian accent, that's a cool accent.
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, how do they get so good at hiding their accents in movies?
I know.
Well, I remember.
See, we're saying his is cool. So Linda,
He thought hers was cool because she's got that southern twang.
the
So
southern accent is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that southern accent too. What was that?
I don't know.
The paranormal in me.
I know. Whose music box was that?
Because I have so much stuff in this room. I'm like, but I've never heard that. So that can't be from me.
What was that from? Someone have a music box go off just now?
I don't.
It had to be Linda. Like the
Linda,
creepiest
do you have a music box that
in
just
the...
went off?
I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Mine is here.
But you
in
pick
a
up some
cupboard,
strange things sometimes.
and it doesn't have a battery in it.
What is it?
The only music box I have.
Oh.
look what
Oh,
Austin.
dude,
Okay.
you got one
Oh,
of
yeah,
those?
I don't tell you anything. I'm so sorry.
No, you
It doesn't have a
don't.
battery in it. No. Austin bamboozled me into getting that and one of those like something boxes. So, but those don't make like the not bamboozled. That's just the term I use. But it doesn't make noises like that. Was it
So
like
that
a
was a music
phone?
box.
Was it someone's phone?
No.
That was a music
Okay,
box.
I'm gonna blame
No,
it
you-
on Shawn.
No, I told you this is the only music
Nope.
box I have.
I don't have a cell phone.
Right here, my
Awesome.
ringer's off on my phone. That is so weird.
It's not.
What? Anybody? Like seriously, the only music box I have has no battery.
I
in
mean,
it.
my one dog is making a snap sound, but that's not it. Yeah.
No, I mean, I have this. I mean, this has a battery in it, but it's not on.
No, Brian, do you have a grandmother?
Yes.
My mother. Do you have a grandmom on the other side? Because you've got
Yes.
an older woman kind of standing to your, I guess it would be your left shoulder.
So
Okay.
here.
And she's been there the whole time we've been talking. And I was just curious as to who she was to you. Yeah, right on. I'm looking at you, so it'd be your left.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know if you can feel her there or not, but she's been there the whole evening, just standing there. Yes.
okay. I mean, I don't typically feel
So
a lot, but yeah.
does she go with
Um,
you when you?
Go with me when?
When you do like investigations or you're doing things that involve the paranormal, she's kind of like your gatekeeper. It's like she's watching your back.
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I didn't know that any of my grandmothers
That's what you, yeah.
enjoyed the paranormal at all. I didn't know.
It's about keeping you safe. Do you get a name or anything, Linda?
I'm not sure.
Any sort of description so Brian knows which grandma?
She feels very grandmotherly.
Mhm.
Be the left side, so it'd probably be your father,
Okay.
is how I kind of split them up. Usually the left maternal and the right's the maternal.
Hmm.
So you need a direct relative like grandmother to you. But she just seems like she's behind you and she's watching your back.
Well, thank you.
Have you had spirits sneak up on you before?
Oh, if they did, I probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, Brian's very he calls it being well grounded.
Okay. Because I just feel like she said she needs to watch your back.
We'll see.
Well, there's
part of
always
being
so much
well-grounded.
going on. It's always, I
Right?
mean, everyone needs their back covered, but yeah.
Oh, everybody
No.
does, and we all have our spirit guides that protect us and guide us through
Right.
these investigations.
Yeah.
So, Angela's here. Oh, History and Headlines found us here on our first Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you, Linda. I mean, if there's anything else, please let me know. But that's really nice to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh,
I have
will.
yeah, because I have
She just feels very loving and very protective. So
okay. Because I have like two grandmas on my dad's because you said dad's side, right?
yeah.
Okay. Because I never met my dad's mom. She passed before I was born. Like super early or before I was born. And then I had a step grandmother and then she just passed like not a year ago. Like in the middle of last year. So, one I've never met, and then one I wasn't like super close with, but I mean, we helped her with a lot of stuff, and she was always there to help us. So it was still a good thing. I don't know if that makes
I think
sense.
it's the one that's been over there the longest. Yeah, it makes sense, but she's been over there longer than just a year or two.
Oh, okay. Because
she's been guarding you for quite a while. Yeah.
yeah, so that's either my mom's mom or my dad's real mom.
I think it's your dad's real mom because she's been over there a long time.
Okay.
And you said the step grandma's only been over there, a year and a half, something like that. So
yeah, less than a year.
It's probably the one you've never met.
Yeah.
Because she's been guarding you for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been guarding you for an awfully long time. So
that's really cool.
Wanting to come through is Shawn's grandpa, but he's never come through to me, which I've always hoped that he would, but he hasn't. So
my grandpa says the stuff I did. He'd be like, "So, are you still doing?"
I know
that
they named the
weird
dog
shit?"
after him.
Yeah, we did. He'd be like, "So, are you still doing that weird shit?" Like, oh, you mean the paranormal investigations? Oh, yeah. He thought, I don't know. My grandfather had a lot different outlook on religion and spirituality than others, based on his just his life. And what's crazy is like, when he passed, he was living in a retirement center. I hate calling it that. It's like a country club for old people, and it's like a luxury place. And so, but the thing is that every day,
Mhm.
he said the first thing I do every day is I check my mail and I check this shelf, and this shelf is where they put up the photo of the person that passed away. Like every day, it's like it's part of every day. It's like, who died today? It's like, wow. It's not like how'd the Cavs do last night. That's crazy to me. Like that's your everyday, and for that to be your life. And I couldn't imagine what your beliefs would grow to be. I mean, and that's how everybody is probably that lives in a place like that, right? I mean, death is every day. I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad that they loved it there. I'm glad that they're well taken care of. I'm glad that they got to finish it. My grandmother's still here with us. I'm glad that she
I
gets
used
to finish her
to,
days
as
in
a
luxury.
nurse, to hate going into
But I couldn't do
places
it.
like that.
Yeah. I couldn't do that. I couldn't I'd do that. Like too much. It's too much. I don't know. I guess you get used to it. I don't know. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe one day he'll come through to you, though, Linda. What about my dad? Has he ever come through? I don't think he has. He never came through in life. I don't expect him to come in death either. So.
No. And that's just the weird stuff, it's like that's interesting though, that you say it that way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when I try to connect people, they really don't want to be connected.
Oh,
I always try to respect that.
Yeah.
Well, if you had someone who was abusive to you, you really, and they were dead and gone, you probably wouldn't want to hear from them.
Yeah.
So, I do have people abused or whatever, and they don't want to hear from their abuser. So
I don't know. I wouldn't call him my abuser, but he wasn't much of anything. I tried. It's one of those things. I have one thing I'm proud of to say he's my dad. At least I got that. So I just gonna hold on to that, and I'm good with it. And the rest of it I use on what not to be for my kids.
yeah.
And I think that's good to have that. I'm glad I had that.
Yeah.
I think I'm a better father.
Sometimes that's the best we can do is to.
Yeah. Yeah, and who knows? I mean,
breaking the cycle isn't easy. But...
Right. And I mean, I was born in California. That's one of those things. If that didn't happen, I would have never met Katie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about fate, and it's just, like at any moment, anything can happen. Just like.
He says in my new book, the doors kept opening. You should trust your instincts.
Go for it.
This is crazy, isn't it?
I understand Shawn's frustration. It wasn't my strongest intro. I had like two lined up, and it's
That's
just
fair.
never. And then we started talking about parents. I was like, oh man, there goes my They're quick. But had us sneak it in here. Tally and Linda, it is the Into the Abyss section where we ask you 13 fast fire questions, and you get to answer them as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. Which one of you would like to go first?
I'll let Linda.
All right, Linda,
All
are
right.
you
It
ready?
doesn't matter. If you want to go first, Tally, you go for it.
Tally said Linda.
I
Linda,
said Linda.
all
Yep.
eyes on you.
All right, Linda. I'll give you number 1 and number 13 as a reference point, and we'll get started. Number 1, what is your dream paranormal investigation?
Oh, any place in Gettysburg.
Any place in Gettysburg. Love that.
Did you get that, or did I freeze up again?
Yeah. We got it. If you click the stop cam button, does that make the but if you just like leave it off, does it help make it like the audio more crisp? Like if you just leave the video off?
Okay.
Okay. Now and if you talk a little bit, does that, let's see if that's pretty smooth. Can you recite your...
Is that better? Is that better?
We hear you.
Yep.
We hear you. Can you recite your favorite Shakespeare poem in full context and just to see if...
Couldn't even recite that in my day. I don't think I have one.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I don't even know where to begin.
Okay, but we'll just go to the second question. Shawn, that's pretty good. Okay, how do you explain how karma works and how karma is real? How do you explain that to people?
Well, it's kind of easy. What goes around comes around. And it's kind of like dominoes. You can push the first domino and it falls and it goes all the way around to the very last domino and falls. And usually whatever you put out comes right back at you. So if you want, I always tell people, whatever you want coming back at you, that's what you wish for other people. It's much better to get blessings back than it is to get curses back.
Amen. No,
I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, it does.
But I'd rather wish somebody blessings and get blessings back.
Yeah, no, I'm completely there with you. And I 100% believe in that stuff, and I think it's wild that people don't. But there's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress when it comes to helping people pass over. How do you deal and manage that stress when you help people pass over?
Good question. It's different with everybody. I think what helps me was the years I spent as a hospice nurse, and I would help people make that final transition. So it just seems like it's a natural step once they're in spirit. If they're stuck for whatever reason, I help them, encouraging them to go into the light. Also, having crossed over 4 times myself now, I can tell people exactly what's waiting over there. And more times than not, they do finally listen and they go. But if I say I was 100% with that, no, it's more like about 90%, because there's some spirits that just do not want to go into the light for whatever reason.
Okay. Now, when you
And I
speak
think
with,
that's where you get your ghosts.
yeah,
Well,
because they're struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you speak to people that aren't ghosts, do you ever get a message so strong that you almost like have the urge to just or like something that like you need to tell them?
Yeah, I really try not to, but sometimes spirit bugs me to the point that they will not leave me alone until I pass along their message to whoever.
Hmm.
And I will approach people that I don't know and explain who I am and that I have a message from so and so. Would they be willing to accept it? If they say no, then I let it drop. But so far, nobody's ever refused a message from the other side. When I've gone up
Okay.
to a stranger or whatever. So, but usually I really try not to do what the Long Island medium does and go in the mall searching for people. I'm very laid back that way and I don't seek the spotlight. So, but if they really, really bug me, then yeah, I have been known to approach people.
Okay. Now,
And usually it's something that the person really needed to hear.
mm,
And I go away feeling like, you know what? I made someone's day. I made them feel good.
yeah, and I'm sure there's other people similar to you that have these kind of gifts. How does one start to realize that they might have psychic gifts?
For me, I would just know something. I can't explain how I would know it, but I would get a thought or an impression and it would happen. And I'm noticing that if I would have a dream or I would have a vision or I would just know something was going to happen and it would happen, I started keeping a journal and I started recording when I would get these impressions or thoughts or whatever. And then it would come to pass or write down. So I guess that's what gave me my validation.
Yeah.
Like the that Shawn always does, with me. I don't like seeing the things that I see. And you tell people and they kind of blame you for things happening, but it's like I just saw it. I didn't cause it. And sometimes you get wrapped up in, well, why can't I prevent it?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes this
Now,
is actually a curse.
yeah. So when you're using your abilities or you're doing these readings, how much does your environment have an effect on those?
Not too much, really, because I can pretty well tune everything out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, if there's a lot of noise or something happens, I react. But for the most part, I can tune everything in my environment out and just focus on the reading.
Okay. And I mean, you've been doing this for a while now, probably like in the next 5 years. Do you have maybe like one big paranormal goal that you're trying to accomplish in the next 5 years?
I would just like to feel that I made a difference and maybe made people's paths easier. Like you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you've helped or you contributed something worthwhile, maybe.
Yeah.
If it would be a paranormal goal, places I'd like to go to is like in England, like Stonehenge, that kind of stuff. I don't really know if that's a paranormal go, though. That I made a difference positively. I think,
Yeah, and I think everything else will kind of follow suit if you just keep aiming for that.
Yeah.
One of the things you were talking about, with looking at the generations of past lives, I mean, so many of us have gone through school and they got an assignment that was just way over our heads. Like there's way too many steps. We don't even know what's going on. And for me, being more grounded than, others, this just seems like such a crazy feat. So, I mean, how do you map out or how do you keep track of all these different generations of past lives going on when you're trying to, do all this?
Well, that's a good question. I really try to stay in the moment in this life. I'm aware of the past lives that I had. I try to reconcile, okay, what was the lesson that I was to learn in that life that I'm supposed to be able to utilize in this one? But I really do try to stay in the present moment, which is this life right here, because that's the only life I can really affect is this one. So I really try to stay in the moment. I mean, it's nice to know all those past lives and it's kind of cool, but in all reality, you need to stay grounded in the life that you're in right now.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Before you do a reading, say someone asks for your help to do maybe like a personal reading, take us through what Linda's doing, for the 5 or 10 minutes leading up to it. Like, how do you prepare yourself to almost get in the spirit of a reading?
Well, I usually do some meditation, and I have a prayer that I go through where I ask for all my senses, my eyes, ears, mind, heart, mouth, everything be open to receiving and passing the information along. And then I always ask that it's for the greater good of the person I'm reading for, that for whatever their greater good is, let me pass that information along. So I always go with whatever is for that person's greater good, give me that information and pass it through me so I can, pass it along to them. Once I'm done with the reading and I disconnect, I don't remember the readings. It's not mine to remember. It's just, I'm like a radio station. Once the radio plays the song, it's over. Well, once I give the message, it's over.
I love that analogy.
It's just a process. I always open up and I always make sure I shut down.
Yeah. I like that. So when you look at people or spirits or souls in the afterlife, sometimes you can get locked into like a certain character or persona. How does one not get locked into like a persona or a character or like a person that they were, when they were living, just to like one persona versus themselves completely? How does one try to avoid that?
Not sure I understand the question. You mean like when we had that one spirit who was kind of trapped as that Joker character?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Well, him, it took a lot of understanding and him coming to terms with the darkness that he pulled out of his own soul to create that character. So
Okay.
basically, once he went into the light, that character was stripped away and he was just himself.
Hmm.
So that's how, I guess it's kind of
Yeah.
hard because an actor plays so many different roles, and each one of those roles has a little piece of him in it.
Gotcha.
Okay. But there is that one core soul, your core being that is you, uniquely you. Like you're not the same person here when you're doing this podcast as say you are at your day job.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we all have different personas we put on depending where we're at any given time. But there's one persona that we know is our core persona, and that's our true self. And whether we're honest with anybody else in the whole world, we need to be honest with us that this is our core person, is the real us.
Okay.
But we're different people to different people in different circumstances. You know, when I was a nurse, I was a psychiatric nurse. So I was in nurse mode, as I called it, you know. But when I was dealing with my grandchildren, I was in granny mode. So we're all different. But knowing how to incorporate all those different personas into our authentic self is what life is. That's what we create.
Okay.
And
Now,
hopefully that's our legacy we leave behind.
yeah. So if I started to get, started journaling, I started just, or anyone started to think that, we might have psychic abilities, what's one tip you would give someone that's trying to hone their psychic abilities?
That it is a gift. It isn't that you're anything special. You're just the conduit that spirit uses to pass on the messages. But you're not anything special in and of yourself. It's all comes from the universe. What frustrates me the most with, and even with what you guys are doing, egos. I run up against such big egos sometimes, it's just daunting. And I'm sure you guys have too, you know. And it's like, nobody's better than anybody else. We all put our pants on the same way. So, but I like I say, I run up against egos, and I think that's my frustration. So that's what I tell people. You're not anything special doing this. You're just a conduit. And if you can keep that, spirit is what's giving me the info. Spirit is the star, not me. You're going to help a lot of people. And that's the bottom line, is helping other people in their life path. It isn't about making money. It isn't about becoming famous. It's about helping people.
Yeah. And
I think I'm weird, aren't I?
No. No, I like
think
that.
I'm weird because, but that's what I liked about Shawn's group. There wasn't the egos in it. They wanted to help people when they did investigations.
I don't know.
And that's why I liked working with Shawn, because he was authentic.
No, just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, because Shawn tells me I'm special all the time. Shawn tells me I'm special all the time. So I
well, you can be special. There's nothing wrong with that, but see, I've got really good people around me that if they think I'm getting too big for my britches, they're not above and beyond beyond telling me that I am.
Linda,
And I think we all need that.
Linda, you know how some people are psychic vampires and they suck all the energy out of you, and when
Yes.
you're done hanging out with them, you just feel drained and awful for a couple days. So Brian is the opposite of that. Brian is the most positive, upbeat guy.
Oh,
You hang
yeah.
out with Brian, you spend a night with Brian, you're gonna go home, you're gonna feel good about yourself, and you're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel good about the next day, and you're gonna feel good for a while. Brian just has this positive energy that he just spreads, and he doesn't even do it on purpose. He likes, and I mean, even if he's not giving, even if he's not trying to help, and he's just being his own self, you just hanging out with him feels good. And it's so he's the opposite of a psychic vampire. He goes and he freely gives positive energy, and it's like that's what gives him more energy. It's amazing.
That's the power of money, everyone. If you pay
cool.
Shawn enough, he'll say anything. No, but thank you, Shawn.
No problem.
Shawn's also giving, Linda, because he's actually funded your brand new school, and you're gonna be able to open up a school on souls recognizing each other, kind of helping people help souls recognize each other, and kind of explain what that means, and kind of give them a little crash course. What would that school be called?
Love at first recognition, I would think.
I like that.
You know,
I like that.
Wow.
I mean, you just meet somebody and you just know them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where you know them, but you know them from somewhere. What was interesting is when Tally met my friend Julie, those two were like two peas in a pod.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was that instantaneous, oh my God, I know you. And come to find out they were sisters in a couple past lives. And it's just unreal how it was just something to witness. It really was. Because I'm just standing back watching this interaction happen. And when those two souls actually saw each other eye to eye, it was like instantaneous. It was really cool. So,
yeah.
You know, Brian, you're going to meet someone, and that someone you're going to know, and you're going to end up spending probably the rest of your life with that person. If you haven't already met them, you're going to be meeting them soon.
Okay.
So it's just something that's going to be happening to you soon. And then when that does, you're going to understand.
Well,
it's hard to describe, isn't it, Tally?
Yeah, it really is.
No.
One thing that Tally did not tell you guys about that interaction in New York is that kiss that those two shared was an extremely passionate kiss. And you know, Tally has said this too, when he went back to join his friends that he was with, they go, why in the hell did you go up to that old woman? What was you doing kissing that old woman? And he goes, I have no idea her from before. She forgot to tell that part of the story on the streets of New York. So that was another instance where it transcended time. Their souls knew each other. And she was followed around for a few weeks by paparazzi trying to get who this old woman was that he was so into on the streets.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a little bit more to that New York story than what Tally was telling y'all.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Now, this is number 13, Linda. I mean, you spent years building this beautiful paranormal community, and over the years, I mean, you've been able to help so many people on like a wide range, as well as deep personal readings. What's one message you want to give that community that you've garnered over the years?
That death is not the end.
Mm-hmm.
That physical death is not the end of us. That our spirit, our energy, that goes on to a very wonderful, beautiful place. And we may or may not decide to reincarnate again in another body, but that the grave isn't the end. And that we in the body can communicate with those that are in spirit. A lot of times we were taught that we can't do that, or it doesn't exist. But just about every single religion there is, they see spirit, hear spirit, whatever, but yet nobody can talk to them. So, but I believe the physical can communicate with the spiritual.
I like that. Well, that was a fun 13 questions.
No, please don't ask me this.
Are you ready for yours?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, now are you guys going to torture Tally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tally.
Tally.
Okay.
All eyes on you.
Okay, Tally, go for it.
All right.
13 questions. Answer them as quickly and as thoroughly as possible, and I will give you number 1 and number 13 as a reference.
Okay.
Number 1, what is your favorite memory you have with Linda?
It goes. It's all about Heath. It's her being able to confirm.
Yeah. Now, how do you explain how God puts things in your life that need to be there, but you don't always realize it at the time?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. So, there's a saying that, God puts things in your life that need to be there, but you don't quite realize it at the time. How do you explain that to people, and how do you, elaborate on it so people can kind of understand what you're talking about?
Well, I just, whatever happens down the road, you end up seeing that it was meant to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's like hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
Yeah.
I never really questioned things that happened in my life, but looking back, I now know why they happened.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, writing a book is so many different hidden parts that people don't even see.
No.
For you, what's the most challenging part that you found about writing a book?
Oh, gosh. Gathering thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I just take one chapter at a time, work on it. Then I go to the next chapter and I keep everything separated. And it takes hours and hours and hours of proofreading, going back and then I'm reading something and I'll let Linda look at it and then somebody else will look at it and they'll bring my attention to something I've read over 100 times and I never caught. And then once they bring it to my attention, I said, why didn't I see that? It's just like you go blind, if that makes sense.
No. It does. Speaking of going blind or wishing you were blind, what's the scariest paranormal experience you've had in your life?
Well, I haven't really had a lot of paranormal experience, except for what I went through with Heath. Mm-hmm. But the scariest was when he got mad at Linda and he came back to my house and brought that BS back with him. That was terrifying. I was terrified. And it's in the book, but yeah, that was scary. He was so mad at Linda. Linda tried to get a hold of me and she told me what happened. She was getting sick from the cigarette or the cigar smoke. And I said, So I called him back home. I said, you're making Linda sick. And boy, man, he let me have it. It was just cigar smoke. And I call it dirty lest oil water. It was horrible. And it lasted for 4 days and nights.
Wow.
And I knew he wouldn't harm me, but I couldn't understand why he was just, it was like I had an oxygen mask on my face and I was breathing this stuff 24/7. Finally, I got mad and I said, knock it off. And it stopped.
Wow. So have you ever done a paranormal investigation?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, imagine this. The Gilmore Wallet's coming out. He said, oh, Tally, you can go anywhere. I'll foot the bill. We can go to the biggest prison you want. I'll fly you overseas, wherever you want to go. Now, all you need to do is tell Shawn where you'd like to go. What is your dream paranormal investigation location? Where would you want to go?
I would say any graveyard. I've always been attracted to graveyards, as weird as that sounds.
Oh my goodness. So I'm telling you, Shawn can rent out the biggest prisons. He could take you overseas to like the catacombs.
Yeah, let's go to the catacombs. Let's go.
You just want to go to a graveyard? No. I mean, you just want to go to a graveyard? Is there any graveyard that's specific to you that's like calling to you?
Not really. I'd like, you know what? There's a place in West Virginia, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. I think they called it Weston, Transylvania something. Does that sound familiar, Shawn?
I don't know.
It's in West Virginia. It was a psychiatric place.
Yeah,
they used to call it Weston, and
the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Yes, that's it.
Boom, Shawn.
That would be interesting. Scary.
Shawn, you ever been there?
I have not.
Yeah, the acronym we use is TALA.
Yeah, it's TALA.
And I've been there, baby.
That place is so expensive. But
really?
According to Brian, the Gilmore Wallet is endless. So
hey, the Gilmore Wallet's endless, man.
According to Brian, I'm able to conjure up money like others conjure up demons with Ouija boards.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It was a cute place. You will enjoy it. What's one unique thing about you that we don't know, Tally?
Oh gosh. I'm just a very ordinary person, down to earth. Not really unique at all. I do have the ability. I know when spirit's around because I smell spirit. That's the one. I guess that's the one unique thing about me.
Ooh, I pulled you out.
It's okay.
Oh, you guys see me. I'm playing this game on my phone while you guys are doing this.
Sorry, I pulled Linda in here, and then that pulled us all into it.
I got busted.
There's nothing wrong with being down to earth and being yourself. So, in New York specifically, do you think that there's something along the lines of something special or something paranormal about New York, or maybe something with fate or anything? Is New York special in the fact that it might be able to pull people together?
Well, I think it was just like I put in the book. I think it was just our cosmic destiny. Even though our past life was so tragic, we didn't want to suffer like that again. We couldn't. We were destined to still. Why, I don't know, but But what are the odds?
Yeah. And all the unknowns. The paranormal itself is full of unknowns and a lot of unanswered questions. If you could have one of those paranormal questions answered, how the afterlife works, or this, that, or anything, what kind of paranormal question would you want answered? I guess do you have the choice to come back when you choose, or are you forced to come back to another life? That'd be a good question. How do you describe twin flames?
from the, I'm not really familiar with a lot of this. I'm just based on what I know from my own experience. But as far as I know, twin flames always come back, I think, as mates. You know what I'm saying? As a husband and wife or whatever. I think with soulmates, you can come back as husband and wife, mother and son, or, I think that's the difference.
Yeah. Now, if you had to write a book that's different from the series that you're writing now, what would you write that book on?
Okay. Interesting. You know what? I would still write on paranormal activity. Wouldn't have to have anything to do with the series.
Yeah. Just something along those lines?
Yeah, along those lines, because it is fascinating.
Yeah. And now
it's mind-boggling sometimes. It blows your mind, things that you discover when you start, with past lives and like with Linda and I piecing things together. It's just, I would tell her things, it would just blow her mind.
Okay. Now, oops. You just passed.
Okay.
And you've got a full year before you fully pass over. What are you where are you going and who are you visiting for that year?
Family, friends, back home, growing up places when I grew up.
I like that. Bug Shawn, bug Linda. I understand.
That's right. Tell Linda, I'll send you time.
Yeah. Linda, I'm here. Oh my gosh, the Gilmore Wallet's coming out again. Now, if Shawn paid for an Australian trip for you, where would you go specifically, and what would you do in Australia?
I would go to Perth because I would want to see where he grew up.
Okay.
I would want to walk his path. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I actually did that in New York.
I like that. Yeah. Now, Tally, the second book's out, the third book's coming out, down the road.
What's interesting, Tally, is he could show you all those neat places.
Right. Well, I had told Linda when we were working on the second book, I had said, because I just fell in love with the characters, if that makes sense. I was so into the British, the manor house and everything, and I don't want to go into much detail, but I had told Linda, I want him to take me, when I cross over, I want him to take me and show me where we were during that time. Does that make sense? Show me the manor house if it's still around, or the area.
Yeah. That's cool. So, let's just say you get the third book done in the series. Mm-hmm. You kick out Shawn's guy, and you do all the audibles.
Right.
You and Linda are getting pretty famous, and you go to one of these book readings and you read your favorite chapter, and everyone's there. You've got hundreds of people and whatnot. And they say, Tally, thanks for reading that chapter. Give us a message. Give us one message you've always wanted to give us over the years. I mean, what would you tell your fans? Or if there was just one message you could give your readers?
I would say, like Linda had said, life, and I tell people this now, life doesn't end at death. You know what I'm saying? Life, like, people do go on. Mm-hmm. They're just on the other side.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And people, a lot of people are afraid of death. Because I know I had asked my aunt one time, I said, what do you think happened? She said, oh, nothing. It's just black. And I'm chuckling because I was going through the experience with Linda, and I thought, boy, if you only knew.
That's honestly like my biggest fear. Well, not my biggest fear, but like that would be such a bummer. Like if it was just black, because
No.
I surround myself with so many people that are, like either
What
not
if you-
religious or.
What if you wake up like it was all a dream?
Wow.
Would that be crazy?
That would be crazy.
Oh
I don't
no,
I
that'd
think
be a crazy
Maybe
thing. I
wild.
mean, I don't know. I think about this stuff probably way too much. That might be one of the reasons why I'm a paranormal investigator. But I don't know. So a lot of people believe that everything just goes black and that's it.
Yeah, some people do believe that.
That's it. I hope not. I hope that there's a
Now, I
lot
don't
more
know.
to it.
I know it isn't.
Oh, good, because this stuff freaks
Oh,
me
well.
out.
Not supposed to inhale water. I want to throw pennies at people when I die. That's
Oh,
gonna be my thing.
okay.
I'm gonna throw pennies at people. That's how people know I'm around. So it's gonna feel a doink and you find a penny on the ground.
Mhm.
They're showing.
That was Shawn. Would that be cool? I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Brian will be doing a paranormal investigation somewhere, and all of a sudden you'll feel a bong.
Anything, people are like,
My near-death
What?
experiences.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
Yeah.
No, Linda's had a couple near-death experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I see her lips moving, but I don't hear her.
She's talking, but the camera's it's freezing up on her.
4?
But, I know with my near-death experiences, I went to a very solid, beautiful place.
Nice.
really?
Yeah.
So was it like nature?
Yeah, 4 of them,
Was it
believe it or not.
Okay.
4?
Yeah.
Wow. So do you go to some place that's like a beautiful forest with waterfalls, or is it
Well,
like,
basically, let me see if I can get this to do. Probably not. But I've had 4 near-death experiences, and I've went to a solid place each time. So
well,
the first place I went to was these big white pillars. I have found that whatever you enjoy doing in life, that's what you're doing in the afterlife. If you think heaven is a forest with waterfalls, then that's what it is. In the ocean, then it's being in the ocean. So and it goes where you would want.
Okay.
If y'all could hear me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we gotta get through these predictions and whatnot because we're
do.
running up. I'm sorry that the end of the event section took so long. That's my bad.
Wow. Oh my goodness. It's 8:54.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I promised I was going to go over, but guys, we're going to have to go over just a little bit because we have to go over these predictions because every year, guys, Linda Dix puts together her predictions for the year. And she tends to get a lot of the things very, very right. And actually, we put the predictions in the on the show description, so everyone can kind of read them over, even as we go over it here in the show. So now, first, Linda, how did you first start doing these predictions? Is she still there?
I don't know. Doesn't look like it.
Well, and
There.
yeah. Well, as I had had told Brian earlier, I started keeping a journal on the things that I saw. And when they started coming true, yep, I'm here, but I don't think you guys can really see me or hear me.
We
We can hear you.
I don't know if you all can see me or not. I'm gone again.
Nope, you're there.
But we can hear you.
You there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
It's basically, okay. I'd write my visions down in a journal, and then someone said, well, why don't you put out your predictions once a year? And that's what I started doing.
Okay. Now, how much of your predictions would you say are how
Okay.
how accurate would you say?
I don't know what you guys have seen or heard. What I had said is I used to keep a journal, and then and someone suggested that once a year I put it out what I see coming the following year. I predicted Princess Diana. I predicted the Twin Towers. I didn't get the Twin Towers right. I thought it was an earthquake.
Wow.
Like a percentage of how many come true? Maybe 90%. No psychics 100%. But mine, for some reason, I see does come through.
Yeah.
In fact, the ones that I put out this year, I actually started writing when I was with Tally before Christmas.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I gone again?
No,
we hear
No,
you.
no, you're here. So
I am going to be getting my computer fixed, so hopefully this won't keep happening.
So Shawn, how do you want to go through like the 21 and the 22 or what?
well,
but I'm not sure if you guys heard me, what I said or not, or
yeah,
what
you're
exactly
coming in,
was going on with
You're coming in a lot clearer now too.
Yeah, you are.
But no, I predicted I predicted the pandemic. I predicted terrorist attacks. The thing is, I often wondered why I was shown these things if I couldn't stop them. And finally, Spirit showed me the reason you're seeing that. Yeah, how do you want to do that?
Well, you know what? Let's go over 2020, and then we'll get 20.
Okay.
2022.
All right.
And we'll go over 2020.
Then I won't touch anything. So hopefully.
First,
the 2022, I see a lot of earth changes, which is weather patterns. Places that don't normally get snow, maybe getting a ton of snow. And, it's weird, but I see like a tornado, but I also see snow. So I don't know if there's such a thing as a snow-nado, but I'm not really sure about that, but I'm seeing tornadoes. Okay. Okay. I don't really remember the 2020s.
Well, let's since we've already started to get into it, let's just stick with 2022.
I think the 2020s, I think some of the stuff that I had was it was going to be 4 royal births. We did have that in 2021.
Yeah.
Prince Philip passed away, of course. The Queen is going to make her 70th year.
Yes. So can I just read?
Oh, and I saw weather changes, wildfires, mudslides, that kind of stuff as well.
Can I just read your?
Is that pretty much what I had at the end of 2019 to 2020?
Well, I was just going to read your what's coming for 2022. Is that okay?
Okay. I saw some icons passing away this year. I was telling you guys earlier, I thought Betty might actually make it to the 17th of this month, but she didn't, obviously. I'm seeing people like Dick Van Dyke, Angela Lansbury, those kind of old Hollywood types this year as the icons. But I've also got a couple young ones. Sure.
Yeah, you said we'll lose many celebrities this year. Some icons will be greatly mourned. Some
Sure.
natural causes, suicides, or murders, and accidental.
Yep, that's fine. I don't know if they can see me or hear me.
We can hear you, Linda.
We can hear you.
So
I hear you.
then you have shakeups in Washington D.C. In some states, with coming elections and scandal, changing of the old guard is what you're hearing. It's like a domino effect once it starts.
You need to keep doing this stuff so you can clean them.
And we have earth changes, as you had mentioned, around the globe, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes, changes in weather patterns. It affects migratory fowl, insects, and I just lost what I said.
Are they
And
reading?
animals.
I think so.
Gas, clothing, food, meat, produce, and other consumer good prices will continue to increase, but don't expect help with another stimulus check anytime soon. Unfortunately, terrorist attacks will continue around the globe. Middle East will always a hot spot.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you could. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yep. I think we're going to get rid of a lot of the career politicians in the next 2 years with the election coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or terrorist attacks. It says
I feel the natural route is going to be disturbed somehow. I don't know how things migrate.
Oh, so the days have to change. Well, it is kind of weird what's going on with our weather. It does kind of seem like winter is starting later.
It would be nice, but I don't think we're going to get any more help.
That's about the stimulus. She's behind by a stuff. I'd say probably about 30 seconds or so, maybe more. Stocks will falter.
Nope, I can't.
Stocks will falter but rebound soundly. Pharmaceuticals, medical waste, and green energy companies going to be
I do think that
consistently throughout the year.
I don't think over with the Jeffrey Epstein thing. If you guys can hear this or not, but some more stuff's going to come out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, really.
Really?
Linda, are they gonna divulge the little black book? She didn't hear me.
What's that?
Yeah, I guess he had a little black book. I think it's locked up. Never, never. It's off access. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Huh.
Probably has tons of names in there.
I believe it.
The
little black book.
Yeah, I think it was that Maxwell woman. I think the courts, I forget the exact words, but I don't think they'll be able to release any information, get any information out of it.
Yeah, I do see them faltering, but they're going to rebound.
She's talking about the stock market.
About stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, she might be like a whole minute behind us.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, some of the names of everyone have been involved.
That's wild.
What? I don't know what you're reading.
I'm reading your Facebook post with your predictions.
I think so. At least some of the people in the little black book.
Oh.
This is like an EVP session, or like if you got like a spirit box running, and you're like,
yeah.
And they're like, you're trying to piece it together.
You're right.
Sad thing is, it's people that we would respect, and we would. Yeah.
That's not surprising.
Yeah. Let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein some more.
That might be the murder suicides happening, has to do with that.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Linda says, we need to be more observant when listening to the news.
It is scary.
When they are sensationalizing a topic, and we are shocked, horrified, and focus that we need to be aware of what is transpiring in other places while our attention is shifted.
Shoot.
She also sees racial, ethnic, and cultural classes all over again.
Shawn, you need to call her. Someone needs to call her and just put her on a phone call.
Well,
it's interesting, guys, but whenever I do my lives on Wednesday or I do something like this, Spirit messes with me the entire time. Either they shut off, they kick me off. It's just ugh.
That could be happening now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why. I didn't even put that two and two together because it's not even like a technological.
It happens all the time when she's doing her live, when her readings, her live feeds.
Spirit messes with me a lot here.
That's so weird.
Maybe it's
30 seconds behind. That's so
maybe
wild.
It's the
hey, did we ever figure out the music box?
We did not. No,
we did not.
That's weird. That's real weird. I have no explanation for that.
That was weird.
Yeah, Linda. So, real quick now, Linda, I know you do offer private readings. If you can hear me, um, I know if anyone is interested in a past life or reading connecting with the lost loved one, or just wants a reading for a question or
I'm here, but I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
We can
Yes.
hear you.
you can contact Linda on her Facebook page, and she really truly is fantastic at what she does.
Yes, she is. She's spot on.
So make sure to contact her as far as prices and everything. I'm not 100% sure on what they are, but I do know that they're very reasonable. On Wednesdays, she does do a thing where she give people like mini readings, so you can like ask her a question in the chat group, or ask her for a quick reading, and she'll do it. And I've sat and listened and watched those before. When our podcast was on Wednesdays, I do that before the podcast, and it was always really interesting. Linda,
welcome to my world, guys.
I did put Linda's
I love
Facebook.
this.
I did put Linda's
Yep,
Facebook
Mel,
page
welcome to
link
my world. Spirit messes with me here.
in the ticker. So yeah, and it does seem like when like Spirit likes to really. I mean, remember Linda, if you whenever you hear this part, when we did the ghost hunt for Brian, Spirit, I don't think wanted you there for some reason, and I think that's why you didn't make it. What do you think? But it's really, really weird how much they can affect.
Yeah.
Sure. Just private message me here on Facebook. Yep.
All right. So, yep, Linda just said private message her on Facebook. That's the best way to get a reading from her. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
Thank you.
This is for sure, and I'm harping on it. You're familiar with this, Tally, yeah? Like when we sit down with like a box and like we're doing trying to communicate, and sometimes words pop out of a box. Like I honestly feel like this is because it's so weird. It's like 30 seconds behind. It's so wild.
This happens to her all the time.
This is so crazy.
When she does her live feeds on Wednesdays, you know, it's crazy.
Well, thank you.
It's hard.
Spirit willing, I do try to do those.
Yeah.
Yes, she's talking about the readings and
yeah.
She's just remember she's responding to things that we've already talked about.
We talked about past. 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're already past that, but that's okay.
Oh shoot.
Just waiting to see if I thought she was going to say something again. So I mean, it's always if you ever have an opportunity to go to an event that Linda hosts or get a reading from Linda, definitely it's so neat how spot on she is and how connected she is with Spirit.
I don't think either. I'm not quite sure why. Yeah. Yeah, just going there, I picked up on a lot of murder. Maybe that's why they didn't want me there.
She's going back to the ghost hunt for Brian.
Yeah.
And what's funny, Linda, is that there is a missing case file going on of a local there at the school. So the very well could be. Maybe that's it. So, guys, I think with that, it is 9:15,
Yeah.
and tomorrow is Monday. So, and as everybody knows, Garfield, Mondays are the worst.
Yep.
So yeah. See, I was a big Garfield fan back in the day. The comic strips.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I don't think I've ever seen it or read it. Maybe.
never heard of Garfield? Garfield and Friends?
Okay, wait. I have. I'm just not
cat.
familiar with.
Yeah.
I know. Those. Okay, you know.
Odie, the
I'm
dog.
not trying to. Okay, wait. It's the end of the show. You guys can't flame me right now. Okay, I'm just saying.
Odie,
I'm not
the
as
dog.
I'm not as familiar. I've seen
dog
it.
has a
I know
long
what you guys
neck and a
are
long
talking about. The lasagna. I know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
see, lasagna.
But thank you for having me on.
Oh,
I don't
thank
know if
for
you
coming
hear
on.
that or not, but thank you.
Yes,
Hear ya.
yes.
Thank you for coming on, Linda. It's always a pleasure.
And what's the best way to get the book that best benefits you?
But they're both on Amazon.
And that's the best way to benefit you?
What do you mean?
I don't know, like if there's because like maybe one vendor.
Well, yeah, they're only available on Amazon.
But hopefully your grandma
okay.
stays with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Both in paperback and Kindle. And I'll have to tell Linda about the audio or the audio book or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Audible, audiobooks. Yeah, same thing.
Cool.
Yeah, we will look into that Audible. I have a couple friends that might be interested, and one person might even just do it for as a donation. So we'll see.
That works.
And our friend standing behind you, Tally.
Is he? She
All
said
right.
He's behind me right now. He's with me.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine that life of being able to see and hear spirit all the time? Like I being an empath, like I feel the energies, but I don't really see a lot. I couldn't imagine being able to see that and being able to sense that as well.
I'll be sitting there reading a book, or I'll look on something on TV or something, watching TV, and all of a sudden, man, it hits me. His cigarette smoke hits me right across the face, and I say, "Hi, honey, I know you're here."
That's awesome. That's awesome that he has that tell for you. He has that way of letting you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I said, it happened for years before he actually presented himself. But I wasn't cluing in. Why am I smelling cigarette smoke? And I had quit smoking, and I thought, this is crazy.
See, like I've had people tell stories of like finding coins around their house or whatever, something being moved.
Feathers, dragonflies. I've had dragonflies land on my hand. That's.
I've had experiences with butterflies for spiritual experience and cardinals.
Okay.
Cardinals are a spiritual symbol for me. But guys, again, I'm sorry. We can keep on going on and on.
I know we can go on for hours.
We could. Definitely. So the next time you guys have a book come out, let us know. We're gonna get you back on the show. I want to hear more about it. I can't wait to check out the book myself.
Yeah.
And I think that these stories, these are great. They sound like great love stories.
They are. When you read the first book, you'll be fascinated, totally fascinated. People have said, that they can't put the book down. The second book, like I said, it's about the past life and explains why we didn't come together in this life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that life there in the World War I time period was the last life that you two spent together.
Together, yes. And it explains why we couldn't do it again this time.
You said it was tragic.
Yes. I won't get any further, but yeah.
No, that's fine. People love that stuff. That sounds like a good read.
Yeah. It was hard to write. It was hard to do regressions. In fact, when Linda was here, I tried to do regression. I had to stop because I couldn't handle it. She was advising me, just think of it as a movie, so every time I would do it, you could hear, I would listen to my tape recordings and I could hear my voice choking because I was getting emotional.
Yeah.
Reliving everything.
I can imagine. Yeah. I've never tried to do that. Like I've tried to do meditations where you kind of like can like see things and like meet your spirit guides and do other things, but I never got into the past life regressions.
It's interesting. The only thing when you do it, if you ever do it, tape record it, because I said things I don't remember saying.
Yeah.
That was the big thing, that like you tape recorded it, and Linda would always write things down in the book, and that's a big passion of mine too. Like after like every investigation, keep a journal, write it down, or even like stuff, because like when my fiance and I first moved into this house, we had painted for like 2 or 3 weeks. Everything was fine. The day we moved in, we were like, "Oh, we should put the recycling bins right there." From the basement, we heard, "Yep." I said,
"Is that right?" Oh, wow.
I said, "You hear that?" And Julie hates all the paranormal stuff. She goes, "Oh man."
Don't say that.
I kept like a log on my phone, like move-in day, and just like time stamped it.
That is very good thing to do.
Yeah, and then for the investigations themselves, I have a book, but like I started keeping like a written journal for investigations. I'm at 50. I did 50. I think I've done them for like a little over 10. I got to go back and see what I remember. That's the biggest advice. Keep a record of everything.
Well, like I said, after I got done, I would grab a cup of coffee and I'd come here to my computer and start transcribing. I said, "Holy cow, I don't even remember saying that." It was just freaky. Oh. Yeah.
That's so cool, though.
Huh?
That's so cool, though. I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's amazing. If somebody had told me years ago what had happened, and that I was able to do regressions, and I would know spirit when they were around, I would have told them they were nuts.
No way.
Yeah, no way. But it's interesting. Like I said, when Linda was here visiting, we did it for the Civil War. We started it, and we did it together. And I put on tape recorder or my phone and recorded it, and we were matching up. It was just weird. We were seeing the same things, so it was crazy.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
thank you
for having us.
For disclosing who the actor.
Yeah, there's no way.
When I was writing a book, we debated, should I or shouldn't we? Should we or shouldn't we? And then we decided against it because we didn't want his family to think we were taking advantage of his name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we went back and forth, and then again we went back and forth on this one. And then finally, we just decided we needed to do it. People were starting to guess, and we might as well just get it out there. So, and if it gets back to the family, hopefully it'll bring them peace, some comfort.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, it's always the hope.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's really neat that you get to share your story. So.
Yeah, that was nice.
And guys, make sure to go check this out. You want to hear what it's like to visit your past lives and see what it's like. Check out these books, and sounds like a compelling love story. So sounds like whether if you're even in the paranormal, supernatural or not, sounds like this is sounds like a love story to me, and it sounds like there's still a lot more story to tell.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, and look, like if you're trying to get like your spouse into the paranormal, maybe they're like on the fence, like I don't know.
Yeah.
But they love stories. This is like the best of both worlds.
There it is. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm involved. And that's the best way to start a brand new year with a brand new story that you never heard.
There you go.
Definitely. Oh, I got an alert. The winter storm is still in effect. We have a winter storm warning here, guys. Maybe that's what's happening with the internet.
That could be.
Well, guys, thank you again.
Well,
Tali.
thank you for
for coming on unexpectedly. Yes, Michael Lovick says,
Aw.
thanks for sharing the story and love the book. And just got the second book. We'll get reading it this week.
Wow.
And
Thanks,
for the
Michael.
Great evening, guys. Thank you, Michael. We do appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I don't know. I hope that we helped you end your weekend on a good, fun note, and I hope that we help you slide on into your week and have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have
You
a
too.
great week, and because no one, Monday, just trying to shake off the rust. But look, now, guys, your brains have been stimulated. We're talking about all this crazy stuff, the afterlife,
Right.
everything going on. Oh, you're gonna love this week coming up. All these positive vibes just to shoot you in the next week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shawn does it so much better. I'm sorry.
Guys, so as you guys remember, our show is every other week. Our next show, guys, we have an awesome guest. It's Ashley Storm. So we're going to be talking about her awesome location that she owns and runs. And we're going to be talking about her haunted adventures there. So
Okay.
yeah, make sure to tune in. That is on January 30th. That's when we will see you guys next. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We really do appreciate you.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay healthy. And guys, let's keep on spreading that love. Let's keep on spreading that positive energy. We
That's
need
right.
it. We need it more and more.
More and more.
Every time I go out of the house, I had to go and run errands today, and people were being ugly. Like,
Yeah.
no, this is not the way we need to be these days. We need to be civil to each
love.
other. Right. So let's spread that love. Let's spread the positivity, and everyone stay healthy. And we will see you guys next time.
Take care. Thanks again.
Thank you. This paranormal adventure that we're all on, it connects us. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast with your host, Shawn Gilmore.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 10 years.
He was featured on the TV show Paranormal Survivor that airs on Travel Channel.
His passion is creating para-unity.
With your host, Brian Mursell.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 7 years.
He leads his own paranormal team.
He wants to help people start their paranormal adventure or grow their existing one. This is our paranormal adventure. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast.
It's about supporting. It's about making para-unity a real thing, because we all need to support each other within our community. And that's what the show has always been about.